Oops. Hey guys.
Good morning.
I went to push the live button a little prematurely.
Forgot to put the details. That's okay. We can just tell them right now what we're going to be talking about.
That's right. Welcome to another Friday morning live.
Ooh, we love Fridays. Do we?
We do.
I'm kidding.
Do we?
Yes, Fridays are nice. I feel like Fridays have a little bit of excitement about them because it's the end of the week and the weekend's coming, and usually we do things on the weekend that we don't normally do through the week. Like today, we are going to
Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. We got our tickets right here. We actually got these tickets for free. So you just go online and you apply to get tickets, and we were super lucky because we just went on a few weeks ago, and they said the wait time was going to be 2 or 3 months. And then, like, the next week, we got email that said, you have tickets for Jimmy Kimmel on September the 6th. So.
And it came up quick.
Came quick.
Oh my gosh. We were like, oh, we have some time. And
so that's what we're up to today. And then tomorrow, we're actually going to be seeing our LA family. They are having, how do you call it, a casaneta?
You always get me mixed up.
Oh, you say it.
Quinceañera, I think.
Quinceañera. So it's a big party, I suppose, right? Celebration.
It's like Sweet 16 for Mexicanos.
Sweet 16.
It's like a Mexican Sweet 16 party.
I cannot wait for some Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
So music, mariachi band. And what else?
It's
food, fun, laughs. What else? He's giving me the stare down.
What? You ask me and then you cut me off. Morning, Jen.
That's what we're up to this weekend. What are you guys up to? Any Mexican quinceañeras going on?
I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I went to the market the other day, and the little veggie guy, the farmer that we buy our veggies from, he is the cutest little man ever. I have a little crush on him.
FYI, calling a man a little man is not a compliment.
Okay. Well, he's short, and he's cute, and he's Mexican. He speaks Spanish, not too much English, and I don't speak too much Spanish, so it's hard for us to communicate. But yesterday I used whenever the market day was, Wednesday, I used my Mexican
Spanish! Oh my god.
I used my Spanish to talk to him. Sorry, guys. So I was so proud of myself, and I'm like, tres vegetales, por favor. And and I'm like all proud. My shoulders are all like, and he's like speaking back to me in complete Spanish, and I'm like, bye. Because that's all I knew. And he wanted me to speak more Spanish, but that was all I had.
Last week I was there, and Dorothy was getting ready for Cooking with Dorothy, so I was there getting some vegetables, and I put her on FaceTime. So I called in and put her up because she's always like, say hi to our friend. And then he was like, oh, he saw the camera, he saw Dorothy, he said, oh, and they started talking like a few words in Spanish. It was so funny.
What did I say? How do you say hello again?
Hola.
Oh yeah, I said hola, and he says, ¿Cómo está? And I said, estoy bien. ¿Y tú? And he says, muy bien. That was our conversation. That's what excites me, you guys.
Oh
my broken Spanish to my little Mexican farmer market friend. It's so fun. So they seriously have the best veggies that we've ever seen. We've been to a lot of farmers markets, and of course all the veggies are really nice, but he has the best veggies, you guys. Big, bushy bunches of kale, and so fresh. He has carrots and beets, and the best part is you pick any 3 of his veggies for $5.
Oh.
$5. That would that's what for one veggie, like
Edie?
$1.80 or something. Like super, super cheap. You'll never find anything at the grocery store that fresh and that big. Like the bunches at the grocery store are like, and usually they're like wilty and been on the shelf for a little while. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm just remembering this correctly or not, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure he told us one time they cut it that morning and then bring it to the market. So fresh.
I believe it.
So fresh. The spinach, oh my gosh. Amazing. So we try to go every Wednesday to our vegetable stand, our vegetable guy.
We've tried to go to other places. I'm just sharing this video, by the way. That's what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to Dorothy yak in my ear.
I'm really good at it.
Look at that picture. That's
Yakking in your ear.
cool. We've been to other ones. Like, we've been to other markets. And there's a market here in Redondo. That one's only like a 5-minute bike ride. And there's another one in Manhattan that is Tuesdays. We don't go so often because it's a bit further and you get like complacent in your area. Like, that one's 5 minutes. That one's a 5-minute walk. That one's a 5-minute bike ride. And the other one's like a 15-minute bike ride. So we're like, nah, let's just go on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. But anyways, we go see this guy and he's super friendly and he always has like the best vegetables. Like, they look the best, they taste the best, they're the freshest, and they're the cheapest. So it's like a no-brainer.
And they're so good. So that's where we get our kale and our spinach and like all our greens, lettuce.
We got some comments. Thanks for the comments, guys.
Yay, thanks guys. We have Jen in here. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. Jen also said, good grief, so funny.
Good grief, so funny.
I would say the same.
Oh dear.
I usually just say, oh, Dorothy.
My Spanish is not very good. You know what's funny is I recently have started, I'm working on connections because relationships are so important. And I'm reading this really good book and it talks about being heartfelt and being compassionate and reaching out to not just meeting new people, but reaching out to people that have touched your life, you know, high school, university, in your past. So I've been really having a lot of fun reaching out and connecting and rekindling friendships. And one of the girls I talked to from high school not too long ago reminded me of our Spanish high school class. And it was online. Like we didn't have a Spanish teacher. There was about 5 or 6 of us in a room with like dinosaur computers to compared to what computers are today, right? These dinosaur computers and headsets. And our teacher was actually in a different city than we were anyway. And so we were doing our course, our Spanish course online. But because there was no physical teacher in the room, we were pretty silly. It was just like 5 girls. And, you know, sometimes I napped on the carpet. She reminded me of that.
You napped? There's 5 people in one class?
Yeah, in this set. It was like a closet, you guys. So you walked in. It was off of the library, this little room off the library. No windows, like a little closet. And there was maybe not even 10 computer stations in that little room. And you each sat at a computer station and had your headset and logged in. And I don't say this to brag or whatever, but I was really good at languages. Like, languages was my thing. And I mean, I'm not good at Spanish now, but when I was using Spanish and studying Spanish, it came pretty easy to me. So I would finish my lesson in about 5 minutes, and it would take other people a bit longer, right? Well, the whole class, right? And I'd finish, 5 minutes exaggeration, but I would finish my lesson quickly. And so then I'd be like, ooh, nap time now for my next class. Hey, yeah, so that was my high school Spanish experience. Don't tell my mom.
I'm telling your mom.
Don't tell my mom.
Does your mom know about you golfing?
My mom does not know. Don't tell my mom about my golfing lessons, please. Do not tell her. Allie, you're in here too. That's my cousin. Don't tell my mom.
Brianne says she's in here with Elena.
Oh, hey guys.
I love seeing your pictures, Brianna. I feel like, you know what, you get like, I think you take it for granted when you're like close to your friends, and then I think you're taking it for granted because we should be seeing Elena like every day, right? When we're adults. But then we're like so far away, and I like miss seeing the kids grow up.
Yeah, it's so true. Oh my gosh, I love her pictures. She's the cutest.
Morning, Dan.
Hey, Diane.
Dan, are you traveling? Where are you? You seem like you're traveling quite a bit these days.
Yeah, let us know, Diane.
And Allie's in here. Morning, Allie.
Good morning, Allie.
Allie's rocking the TriMeg. She has joined our membership group this month. So thanks for your support, Allie.
And Jessica's in here too. Jessica says, that's like the European markets. The fish are caught that morning to sell. Fish you never see here, like swordfish. By noon, most of the fish are gone. It's incredible. You know, we had a similar experience when we were in Sri Lanka because it's the same kind of thing that the fish caught that morning is sold, like right on the beach. Oh, it was so good, wasn't it, Drew? You go up, there's the fishermen there in a little ice table, and you go and you pick your fish, and then they take it and they cook it the way that you want it. If you want it fried, if you want it, well, I don't know, what other ways to cook it? Deep fried?
Oh, we're in Sri Lanka.
Pan fried?
In this
When we were in Sri Lanka, right? What are you laughing at?
When we were walking by, they had the fish on the... You didn't get to pick your fish.
It's on like an ice table, and you pick which fish you want, fresh.
So it's out in the open, so of course there's like flies and bugs. It wasn't like, they weren't covered, it wasn't like gross.
It wasn't disgusting.
There's like a couple flies.
Yeah.
And then the guy... There's a fly on the fish. I was like, how about that one? I'll take that one. I said, I'll take that one minus the fly.
Minus the bug!
And he like grabs it, tosses it in a bucket, and I was like, is that our dinner?
Oh man, I'm not sure, like, you know, in Canada, if we were to put up a display of fish, we'd need the shield, and we'd need the ice at a certain temperature, and the yada yada yada, all of these like rules, but in Sri Lanka, it was just like, off the boat, here's some ice, that's the fish you want, throw it in a bucket, off to the kitchen to cook it. Like, it was so...
It's very cool.
Very cool.
And the fish was amazing. Like, it was absolutely amazing. I'm not, like, I don't know, like, I like fish. I like a good fish, but I feel like because we're eating less and less fish, or, like, we just don't tend to have meat often anymore, I feel like my taste buds are changing. So the last couple times I had fish, I was like, nah, I could deal without it. Like, last couple of times I had chicken, I was like, I wish I had that without the chicken. So,
but I also think, too, that... Go ahead, Drew.
Oh, no, it's over now.
He's getting upset because I cutting him off. But I also think that because, Drew, you had... Like, growing up, you didn't have, like, the good fish, right? Like, fresh and... You know,
no,
like,
we
that
grew up
makes
in the
difference.
prairies.
That's what I mean! That's what I mean!
And the ocean.
Yeah, you didn't grow up at the ocean, so... When I first got to Alberta and was having... Like, we always ate fish. We rarely ate red meat, like, growing up. Rarely. We hardly. Like, I didn't even really eat steak before I came to Alberta. And I was, like, trying to get my groceries and, like, there was no fish. And I'm like, excuse me, where's the fish? And they point me to the frozen foods. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I hadn't experienced, like, frozen fish before. And I was like, what's going on here? Frozen, you don't freeze your fish. You eat fresh.
Why are all these fish frozen?
Yeah, so that was my experience first coming to Alberta. I was like this little small town, New Brunswick girl, never really been out of New Brunswick. I mean, we traveled a little tiny bit as kids, but usually our traveling experience was to a campground like an hour away. But we had traveled a little bit I had traveled in Europe and stuff. But anyway, when I came to Alberta, I was not accustomed to Western Canada like I am now.
You are very talky this morning.
You're welcome.
Dorothy did a webinar or a live video. You know what a webinar is. Webinars are so boring. They're basically like, I'll give you a bunch of information and you can buy all my products at the end. And they're like thousands of dollars. Those are the ones that I sat and watched. Anyway,
I just don't like the word for some reason, webinar.
Anyways, Dorothy
I don't know.
did her one on oils last night, and she basically talked through the whole thing. So I think she thinks the Friday Morning Lives are becoming Dorothy's webinars as well.
Drew, I let you talk. I let you talk about peppermint, and I let you talk about RC
I don't even know why I'm there.
to help me answer the questions because I have a really difficult time talking and answering questions or reading at the same time. So Drew said to do that.
I'm happy to do that for you.
Thank you.
Let's read a couple questions.
Sure.
Sue says, "Good morning, darlings."
Good morning, Sue. Thanks for being here with us.
Morning, Sue. Brian says, "Miss you guys."
Oh, we miss you guys too. So far. Allie says, you guys are the greatest. Aw, we're coming
So kind,
to
Allie.
New Brunswick, Allie, around Christmas time, so we are hoping to catch up with you guys around Christmas time. Maybe you can, hopefully, that you can come to Mom and Dad's or something.
Or we'll come up there. You guys are in Moncton, right? In
Yeah.
Moncton?
Yeah, Dieppe, I think, right? Right, Allie? Dieppe? Diane says, at home in the gym right now. With being out of work, I have the opportunity to travel more. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I know. Well, like work always gets in the way of our stuff too. We don't want to work. Should just not work. Can we just not work and travel with you, Dan?
Yeah.
See a problem with that?
Not really sure how rent would get paid, but if we didn't work.
We don't need to have a home. We just travel.
Okay.
I'm glad that Dorothy's coming on every show. Oh my gosh.
Laughy face.
I don't think Dorothy's ever had a show. We should, Dorothy be the opposite. Like, we need to give her a bit of a show.
Put me in a bubble a little bit.
What are we talking about today?
Well,
Oh, wait.
we had... Go ahead.
I have a couple show and tells.
Okay.
You know,
This
okay.
is scary.
You know, they're right here. What do you think I put them here for?
I don't see them.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I wasn't prepared. You didn't tell me about show and tell. I got nothing.
Dorothy's like, I want to show and tell too. Well, you just talked for like the first 20 minutes, so you can listen.
Rude.
That's Dorothy. That's Dorothy's. When she
When I don't like what Drew says, he gets that face.
See, that's a different face. Dorothy can never repeat a face twice. It's a thing.
Drew's like, what's that face? Drew says he's going to create a photography book of me that is Dorothy's
faces.
Dorothy's 1,000 faces.
She has like so many different facial expressions, and they're like every one is different. And I'm like, can you repeat that one? Or she'll make a face, and I'm
Do
like,
the bulldog face.
whoa, no,
Why?
stop that. That's the worst. So I'm like, can you repeat that face? And she tries to repeat it, and it's not even close to what it was.
Sue says, be nice, Drew. That's right. Sue's on my side. Okay, show and tell time.
At any rate, this is my new book, newish book. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it's called Rise and Grind. And I thought it was fitting because Dorothy and I had been getting up at 4 a.m. And we tried to do it last week. We tried to do a video. Was it last week? With the couch potatoes?
Yeah, that was frustrating.
We tried to do a video last week about us waking up at 4 a.m. So we're like, oh, we'll just do a radio show instead because that didn't exactly work out. But we've been getting up at 4 a.m. and we've been so much more productive. So this book I found is called Rise and Grind, and that's kind of like a mantra for Dorothy and I. If we don't want to get up, or if it's the night before, we're like, 4 a.m., or we're getting ready for bed at 8:30. We're like, gotta rise and grind. So this is one of the sharks, and this guy invented FUBU, the clothing brand. And his name's Damon John. Did I get that right? I was getting mixed up. Yeah, it's Damon John.
You want to call him John Damon?
Yeah, well, he seems like he's got two first names. Or backwards. And,
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
yeah, super interesting. And as this thing, he basically talks about these overachievers. There's only 6 of them, but he talks about how they work hard, like they grind every day. And I think it's interesting that I feel like people don't understand like hard work. I think it's worse now because like we grew up in the garden, and we grew up like actually manual labor. Like I at construction jobs, and I think that's kind of normal for our generation, and it's becoming less and less, like less kids garden, for example, I'm probably talking the wrong demographic here because you guys are our people, but I think it's less and less becoming like hard work. I think we talk to different people. I work with different entrepreneurs, and it's like it's unheard of to be like, we work this many hours, we do have this many jobs, we put in this much time. And when I talk to people like, oh, well, I'm going to like start this business and in 3 years I'm going to sell it. I'm like, is that right? Working like a few hours a day. And at any rate, I think it's really interesting because he basically highlights all the hard work that these super achievers are going through. And I just think it's great because highlighting that in this day and age is special because you don't see it, and you don't have those people that are like, I get up at 4 a.m. and I work till 9 p.m. Working every day, and that's how they become successful. It wasn't like old money or silver spoon. It was like the time and effort that they put in.
That's a good story, Grandpa.
Give me this. Don't appreciate my stories?
I love your stories.
I'm done.
Back in my day, when we worked hard.
Oh my gosh. Are you done? Hilarious. I'm going to Jimmy Kimmel myself. Give me those tickets.
Oh, no, you're not. Fine. No, I just like the title of the book, though. Rise and Grind. We've been kind of using that as our motto or mantra or however you want to call it. Rise and Grind. Rise and Grind, baby.
I already said that. Stop stealing my words. Time out. We're in a
How
timeout.
about you talk with my hand in your face?
We're in a timeout.
How do you like my hand? Right there.
Me?
Right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm not touching you.
Sometimes I do things to Drew like that just to see how long he'll last because he's like you can block out a lot, but then he'll just like be done. Get out of here!
I have a threshold. Dorothy does that often though. She like tries to push.
Like sometimes if I hold my finger like right here.
That's why I said you're not touching me. Get out of here.
Okay, what's your other show and tell?
My other show and tell. Are you guys ready? I'm very excited about this.
Oh, I know what it is. I just peeked.
What do you mean you know what it
Hold on,
is?
you're not supposed to peek a show and tell.
It's sitting right here. Okay, you guys ready? Can I get a drum roll? Surfboard!
Skateboard!
Skateboard.
Not surfboard. Okay.
Can you guys see on Instagram?
Show them the cool part.
This is my first skateboard. And I know it's like not exciting for most people, but I've wanted a skateboard for years. I just never like did anything about it or like bought one. I'd like kind of look for some at the thrift store, never knew which ones to buy, where to start. I knew I should get a bigger one. The bigger ones are more expensive, and I was like, am I going to use it if I buy it? So I never bought one. So this came in the mail.
Tell them how you got your hands on it.
I'm getting there. Oh,
Okay.
This is a good view. Hi guys. This is my... This is better. Oh my gosh.
Okay, tell them, Drew.
Okay. Just wait. We have a couple comments on here. Oops.
Brianne says longboarding is so fun.
Have you done it? Have you I was going to say surf. Have you skateboarded, Brianne? And then Jessica says, isn't that a longboard? I don't know.
We don't really know the difference.
They're all skateboards
we
to me.
use them interchangeably.
It's not a skateboard?
Well,
The difference between a skateboard and a longboard, guys?
Well, ask them. I don't know.
I don't know.
Jessica, let us know. What is the difference? One is longer? Is that all? Or is there more differences?
Okay, so this is a company, actually a really cool company, and they have, their chips are bananas. Like, they slice up bananas, and they're like chips, and they're delicious. They really are. And so I went into this trade show, and I was kind of messing around, and I was like, how do I win this? Because they're giving this away as a prize. And I was like, how do I win that as a prize? And they're like, oh, well, we're giving that away to people that taking pictures at the booth or like being original or different. And then I don't know where the banana suit came from.
Well, the girls at the booth, at the banana booth, were occasionally putting this banana suit on to attract people to their booth. But at the time that we went there, the banana suit was just like sitting in the back corner.
We didn't know it was there, though.
You didn't ask to put it on?
I'm going to hold this right here.
I thought Drew asked to put it on. But anyway, Drew puts on the banana suit.
Yeah. I said, how do I win? I was like, how do I win that board? What's going to make me stand out? And they said, well, we got a banana suit in the back. I was like, bring it out.
It took a little encouragement, though, to get you to put the suit on.
I was asking questions. I'm a questions guy.
But I was like, Drew, do it.
I asked
do
like
it.
10
Put it
questions.
on.
I was asking like 10 questions, and then Dorothy said, do it. And I was like, yeah, bring it. I want that skateboard or longboard, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So it's funny, we talked about it for quite some time now, like buying one, and I was like, I want to learn to skateboard or longboard, whatever it is.
Because a lot of people around here, they will do that on the Strand, right? We see skateboarders, longboarders.
Oh, there's tons. You'll see 20, 30 just on a 5-minute bike ride, and it was something that I always like kind of thought it was cool. And I think that skateboarders get like a bad rep or a bad name because they'll like sit in an area and then maybe they're like kids and they might play music or they might smoke or they might be a bit loud, so they're not allowed in a lot of areas. They like we saw like the police like people will complain and they'll like kick them out of an area, and they also put these little caps on
the curbs so they can't do their little glidey things.
Can't slide or whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called.
But I just think it's like very Californian, and like a lot of people are always like that's how they use their transportation.
Yeah.
So I was like, I should have one of those. So anyways, we took it out last night for the first time, and I slackline. I don't slackline as much as I like to. Like if you guys haven't seen it, it's like you tie basically a rope to 2 trees, and you walk on it. It's like tight rope.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was going to be like super hard, but it wasn't.
Well, not for you.
No, it wasn't very hard.
Drew just jumped on, and once he got comfortable, he pretty much took off. Yeah. Not me.
Not really. Not really sure to stop yet. Yeah, Dorothy's a bit more not so balanced.
I wouldn't say balanced, but I would say I don't know what you'd say. Like I'm not as good at maneuvering, I suppose. Because I think I have good balance from yoga, but it's like position balancing. This is moving. So
moving.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. But maneuvering it is a little bit difficult. Well, it's a lot difficult for me. So, but Drew was just holding my hands, and I was trying it out. And that's how Drew stopped. I would hold out my hands like this. I said, just jump off, because when we see them, the skateboarders, when they're done, they just jump off.
Cautious. Fran says cautious. Maybe Dorothy's cautious.
Maybe that. I think I am. I think I would describe myself as cautious.
Definitely Dorothy. Dorothy's definitely cautious. I'm like full tilt, 100%. I'll sink or swim, and Dorothy like tiptoes.
And how do you call it? Like, I want to say, like, assess everything before I do something, you know? Like...
Yeah. You're cautious.
Drew, for example, like, Drew just, like, jumps in the ocean, but I have to, like, look, and who's in the ocean? Is there any sharks in the ocean? What temperature's the water? How big are the waves? Where's my towel? Like, so when I get up, like, all of those little things, like, I have to line up in my head, and Drew doesn't think about anything. He just jumps in.
What's up, John? Just talking about my board. So I just wanted to mention Barnana real quick. I don't even know if they're in Canada yet, but they should be. Actually, I think they're in Europe and all over. Anyways, I told the guy. So I did the banana, jumped around in the banana suit. They took a bunch of pictures. We put some up on Instagram, and I haven't shared it on Facebook yet, but I will. This was a couple weeks ago, by the way. Anyways, I messaged the guy, or I messaged their team, their Instagram page. I was like, hey guys, did anyone win that board? And they're like, oh yeah, we gave it away. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, oh, we're having a conversation. I was like, I thought the banana suit would help me out. And then he's like, we kind of talked back and forth. And then he was like, whoever it was like, oh, we'll send you something fun. And I was like, sweet. So yesterday, Greg, who's our neighbor and works with us with TriMag as well, he was like, he brought the box up. He's like, what is this? This came for you. And we're like, we didn't order anything.
We never order things online. Like, what is this?
Like, we didn't buy anything. So I opened the box, and I like...
It was a big box. So I'm like, True, what did you order?
Yeah. And then we opened the box, and it was a skateboard. And we're both like, it's a skateboard!
I was like, you won!
So, anyways, but I think that want to share. And I told him, I said that anything you send, I will let you get. I said I'll help you guys promote and tag. So like Greg, I don't know much about boards, obviously. Greg said it's like a pretty good quality board, and so it's expensive. And you know what I thought? I thought like just in that moment, it brought like so much excitement. And every time I ride it, I'm going to be thinking about the company. I thought it was like such a great marketing idea. And I was like, I always wanted to like have a show like Ellen.
No.
Like only because, like not only because, but for one of the main reasons because you get to give stuff away.
Yeah.
Like I think like the joy of giving someone a car would be. I feel like there'd be no greater joy, or giving someone like such a heartfelt gift that they like cry, or like so. I just don't want to see people cry. I mean, like they're so like emotionally touched. So I'm like, you know, when we grow our business and we're at a point where we can be like, here's something like super cool that we can just mail to our like favorite, our like most active followers, or most like you guys watching, for example. I would love to mail all you guys a car. But could you imagine, like, yeah, I just think it would be so cool to like mail like all of you guys something like so cool that you could open the box and you'd be like, wow!
Because that's what we were doing. We did a little kitchen dance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to what's the difference here. Jessica said,
one of the many reasons I love Oprah. She's not on anymore, is she?
I don't think so.
She got her own TV show. No. Station.
Yeah,
sorry.
Harpo, right?
Yeah.
Brianna says, almost feel like when I try to be more cautious, I'm more clumsy when it comes to physical activities. Better to jump in. Yeah.
I'm with you, Brian.
It's true, though.
Just get in there with 2 feet.
Because my fear because the more time that you give yourself, the more to think about things and prepare or be cautious, the more that the fear sets in. We learned that through my whole swimming escapades.
I think it's with anything. Like, if I knew all the work and how hard it would be to design and bring out like a protein supplement to market when I knew nothing about business, I wouldn't have done it. I think if I did all the research and was like, how hard is it to compete with all these other $1 million companies?
Yeah.
Wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I think that comes with most things in life. To me, if you like kind of like tiptoe in, you won't do it. You just got to get in and make it happen. And if it doesn't work out, you go do something else. But most times it does work out.
Yeah. I want to know the difference. Go to Jessica's. A longboard is a long version of a skateboard. A skateboard is typically used to glide over ramps and sidewalks, where a longboard is used to race downhill and get from point A to point B. Whoa, Drew, downhills.
Oh, that's why Greg was like, oh, just take it down the hill.
And I was like, whoa.
I was like, I can't even stand on that thing. Take it down the hill.
I was like, what do you mean? But he was just explaining that it's easier than to try to go flat, right? Try to learn flat. If you go down some little hills, it's easier to learn. I will not be going down any hills.
We read Allie's.
Anytime you want to send me a car, you can. Oh.
We'll work on it, Allie.
We'll work on that, Allie.
Allie, I would love to send you a car. I'm serious. I would. Friend says, analysis paralysis. Ooh, that's a good one. That should be your mantra.
That should be.
I like it.
Yeah.
No more analyzing. Just do it.
Just do it. Just jump in. But I do think there are some situations where my planning or meticulous cautionist, like
cautionista. That's what you are. You're a cautionista.
I think it comes in handy sometimes, right?
I like how you ask me a question right after I take a bite.
It's okay,
but when
Joe.
I'm not taking a bite, you talk the whole time.
Yep. Okay. More comments here.
Nancy Jones says that'd be really cool.
To send you a car?
I think everyone would love that idea.
Yeah, I think so.
If you had them.
What car would you want?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
We'll write it down, and in a few years, we'll send you your car of your dreams. You have to write it in the comments.
You have to write it in the comments. What is the car of your dreams? What would you pick?
1 second. I would pick... You know what? I just thought, like, all the money that people spend in, like, ads, like Facebook ads, TV ads, you could take that, spend it on a car, and give it to someone, And they would tell everyone they know
Everybody.
that you bought them a car. And
That's
so they'd
true.
be advertising for you, which I think would be better than a TV commercial that you spend millions on.
Yeah.
So that's where our
Good
ads
point.
money is going.
Cars. That's where our ad money is going?
Yeah.
To cars.
Yes.
Okay.
When we have millions of dollars for an ad budget.
Uh-huh.
Done.
Well, what's your cars, guys?
Where are your cars?
Don't leave me hanging.
John says new Italian word, cautionista.
Oh,
That's right.
It is very Italian. We can use that when we go to Italy.
With you, John.
With you,
See, John, she gets in there and she was never gonna let it go.
Peck my way in.
So now you have to take her.
Oh, so nobody's gonna tell us their car?
No cars?
Francis sounds like a great business plan. Drew, what would your car be?
What would my car be?
Oh, we got one. 67
Ooh.
candy apple red Mustang convertible. You would look really nice in that.
I can picture you now. So.
Me too.
Oh, I would get an old school car. Oh, a Tesla.
Oh, Tesla Model X. Yeah, we like there's tons of Teslas around here. We always kind of drool over them.
Teslas are all over.
You don't even hear them. Maybe that sounds bad or unsafe, but I just mean they're that they're so smooth and slick on the road. They're just nice.
Allie says another Mustang we got.
Ooh.
Oh, she said the same.
She said the same as Sue. What color, Allie?
I would go with the old school too. We every Friday we go and see this car show, and I'm not a huge.
You don't know a lot about them. Just
Yeah.
that they're pretty.
Yeah. I don't know years, makes, models, but I would go with an old school car, and I always pick one of my favorites, and I edit it and then I usually share it on Instagram. But I pick one of my favorite cars of the show, and then I spend a little bit of time editing and making it look extra pretty, and I'm it's more personal satisfaction. That's my favorite car.
Can you guess what mine is?
Oh my gosh.
What I would want?
A Ford Pinto.
Drew, I'm surprised you can't guess it, actually. You said there's lots of them at the car show. How can I make it? It's a smaller car.
Oh!
Mini!
Dorothy wants a little bug, a little
beetle.
beetle.
Because for my beach car, if I was in Alberta, I would choose something different. But for a beach car, I would like a little beetle because there is so many, it's LA. There's so many people, so much traffic. And, we're fortunate where we live because we're right in a little beach city, so we don't have to drive. We walk or bike anywhere, which we love. So I don't have to drive here. In fact, I don't drive here. But there's going to be a time in my life where I'm going to have to drive here. And in our SUV, it feels too big. I feel big and bulky, and that I'm too big in the lane, and then I go to park, and the parking spots are smaller. I think it's in my mind. But, so I'm if I had this little beach car, this little bug, and I think I want it to be yellow. Yellow.
You definitely have to be yellow. I should mention that my old school car would need to be a Cadillac. I gotta throw that out there. I'd actually love to trade our Cadillac in, our new Cadillac SUV, for an old school Cadillac. I haven't told Dorothy that yet, so I was looking for a bit different response.
I wasn't really listening.
She didn't hear a word I said.
I was thinking about my yellow bug. But
See what happens? She just tunes me out.
But you know what else? I also like the vans, the old school vans. There is some really cool restored ones. They're so cool.
Allie says red, blue, or black. Surprise me.
Oh, okay. Well, Sue's already called the red one, so Allie gets blue or black.
Sue says hair just blowing in the wind.
Yeah, you'll have to grow your hair a bit longer.
What if we got everyone the same kind of car?
Oh.
Everyone got a 67 Mustang.
I don't think anybody would complain about that.
I don't think so either. And Sue says a Herbie. I think Dorothy might have been a little bit young for Herbie, Sue. Do you know Herbie?
Why do you say I'm too young?
No, I mean a couple years. No, if you're like a year or two off of like a mainstream show or like doll or commercial, you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know?
Just pointing out that he's a little older than me.
I'm a bit more mature. I think that's what she means. Do you know Herbie?
No, I don't.
What are you saying then? I just said that you're probably off a couple years. And then you're like, why do you say that? Like you knew Herbie, but you don't know Herbie.
No, I don't know Herbie.
Herbie was like this little beetle that was like, it like talked and it like had a life of its own. It was like a real car. It wasn't like a cartoon. So we're gonna have to like.
You're gonna have to send me a clip.
It was like, it like had a life of its own. I think it would like help. I don't remember it that well, Sue. I think it would like help people or.
It's a movie. Like you will have to rent the movie, Sue says. Yes, we will. Maybe we can request it for Movie at the Beach.
I don't know how you rent movies. Can you rent movies now?
I think they're like Blockbuster is no longer, right?
No, there's no Blockbuster.
But I'm trying to think if there is like a place to rent movies. But
the Love Bug, John said. Is that what it was called? That's something to do with the bug. John also says, I was going to say beetle. LOL.
Hey, see? Samesies!
You guys can drive a beetle in when you're in Italy together.
You say it like you're not going to be there. You're going to be there, too.
I don't even know how to pronounce that, John. Sirocco? VW Sirocco?
I can't see it that far.
And then Fran says, I love my Kia Soul. Oh, shoot.
What did you do, Drew?
Singing with windows open and the music blaring is my favorite. Awesome, Fran.
Turn the music up.
John says,
your
get out of here. John says, Herbie. Herbie the Love Bug, right.
Herbie the Love Bug. That sounds very appropriate for me, hey?
Like Mr. Ed. What's that? Herbie the Love? Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And then Sue says, like Mr. Ed. Do you know Mr. Ed?
No.
You don't know Mr. Ed?
No.
It's a talking horse.
That's why Drew's always like that. You don't know that? No, I don't know that. I didn't have a TV, okay?
But Dorothy lives in like a little Dorothy Land bubble. That's why I'm like, you what? But I didn't think you would know Herbie. But like a talking horse? Who doesn't know Mr. Ed?
Well, we didn't grow up with a TV, okay?
We didn't have a TV either. You act like you're the only one that didn't have a TV.
You had TV.
We had our TV was like this big, and we had 12 channels, and they probably all didn't work, and then we'd go tick, 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 and then we had antennas, so you have to move the antennas to try to get the TV to work.
Do you ever wonder what the kids now are going to say when they're in...
What they're going to complain about?
What are they going to, like, oh my gosh, my flat screen back then? Like, what are they going to say?
Can you believe my smartphone stopped working? I don't know.
Could you believe that the fridge didn't talk to you or didn't write down your groceries list? Oh my gosh.
You know you have to go into the grocery... You used to have to go in the grocery stores and pick out your own grocery items?
What the heck? When I was a kid, we actually had to drive to the grocery store. Whoa! Pick out our own food! Oh, that's crazy to think about. But I don't think we're, like, too far off.
So it's not on Netflix. But you might be able to, like, rent movies on, like, YouTube. You can do that. I don't know if you can find Herbie, though.
On Netflix? Probably not. We'll have to look, though.
No, I said on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube.
Jessica says I'm younger and I know who Herbie is.
I just must be sheltered.
Dorothy Land. Should we talk about our topic or we just hang out with you guys?
I'm just hanging out. I will start the topic.
Alright.
So, our topic was inspired from yesterday.
So you're starting.
I am starting it. So, we have been looking after some of our neighbors' dogs around here. And one of our neighbors that we just met recently her dog was named Cody, and he was such a sweet dog. He's an older dog, about 10 years old. The golden retriever, a lab.
Golden lab.
Oh my gosh, she's perfect. But Cody goes on his hikes every Thursday. So yesterday we had to take him back to his house to meet his dog trainer to take him on a hike, which was so cool. This guy, Caesar, if you can imagine, the dog trainer, he pulls up.
Not that Caesar.
Not the Caesar, but I'm saying it's funny because his name is Caesar. He pulls up in this van full of dogs, and the dogs just jump in, and then he takes them up on a hike for 4 hours, or whatever, 3 or 4 hours. Anyway, so we dropped him off at his house. But you take over the story now.
What? I gotta take over the story. Okay, so we pull up to the house, and like we're in a pretty prestigious area, and there's like they're million dollar houses everywhere you look. Like this place here, like across the road, like there is like beachfront property. Like there's nothing between. Like we have a road between us, and we still have like a great position. Like people are like, oh, you're on the other side of PCH. Like it's really expensive to live there. So we're in a really cool place, and the only closer place to the water you can get is the street across. Is the apartments across from us. And so, for example, those are like, how many? 400 square feet?
A studio?
Like a studio, 400 square feet is like $500,000
to buy.
Or a bit bigger, like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom is like $1 million, like without question. So like this is a pretty expensive area. So we go down like a few blocks just that way, and we pull up to this house, and there's a bunch of these houses, and we go inside, and it's like something from a magazine.
Oh gosh, it was beautiful. Yeah.
So everything was brand new. It smelled new. It was like
you could have eaten off the ground, off the floor.
It was like
so clean.
Someone was cleaning it, and there's air conditioning. Like we don't have air conditioning here, and this September's been hotter than the summer, so we're like sweating in here all day.
It's like a hot box in our studio.
And our place is upstairs. So we have to go up the stairs to get to our place, and of course heat rises, so it's extra hot here. At any rate, so we're in this place, and everything's brand new. And I think like her bathroom was at least as big as this room. One bathroom. And there is a 3-bedroom. The kitchen looked like something from a Hallmark movie. The bedrooms were like, I don't know. It was just amazing. Like the stove was like as big as, the stove was like this big. It had like 15 burners, like gas burners on it.
Well, 6. What?
And so, anyways, and then it was air conditioned. So we're like, oh my gosh, there's 2 balconies, and it seemed perfect. So, shall I carry on?
Yes.
So as we drive back, we kind of drop off Cody, we're on our way back, and we're both like inspired and deflated. Like so, for example, so we're like, we work so hard to be here. So like this is our place. Like it's a little 1-bedroom studio. We have our furniture from the thrift store or from the side of the road. And, literally. And so and like it's and then we have like this little tiny apartment, and we like put everything we can. We've changed our life in many different ways to be here and like live our dream. And we're like, then we look at like, so we kind of like feeling like here. And then we see like this place that's like here, out of the screen, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're like, how will we ever possibly be able to get there? So we're feeling like a little deflated and disappointed, and like slightly inspired as well, because if you get a chance to like put your vision up here, which I think a lot of people don't get a chance to expand their vision and see, then you're more inspired to go and achieve and be and do and have. So for us, that's what we talked about, of like, what do we have to do to get there? I love that house. I love that stove. Like the stove, we love to cook, so a stove is a big thing for us.
The kitchen was amazing. Much counter space.
We could do a full workshop in the kitchen with like 15 people.
Yeah.
Just
no question.
In the house.
Yeah.
So then we got to thinking, we got to talking, and what we wanted to share our message with you is a bit more, we came back to reality.
Mm-hmm. So we got talking about how it was nice to have a dream or a goal of a fancier house, but would that really make us any happier than we already are? Because we know that material things like a house, a car, a boat, whatever, is not the source of your happiness, because happiness comes within. And so buying a nicer house wouldn't make us any happier. So then we got kind of talking on like a little bit deeper, I suppose, level, and we thought about you don't know the position that the other person is in, right? Big fancy house, nice car, but you don't know their level of happiness, right? You know, to be in that house, to drive that car. They have, most often around here, people have to travel, so they're away, right? They're away from their house, they're away from their family or their pets, and that wouldn't make you any happier than what we are in our little tiny 1960 probably. I don't know how old this house is.
Little tiny thrift store apartment.
Yeah, but this house is older, and like Drew said, we furnished it. We were actually really proud to have furnished our beach house with stuff from the thrift store or from our neighbors. Like, people here, when they don't want something, they just put it on their front lawn. And if somebody doesn't come pick it up, then they'll take it in the trash. So we got a lot of our things from neighbors that way.
That couch was free. Like,
our neighbor was moving and he didn't want to take it with us.
Like a nice leather couch. Like that chair, there's a nice recliner in that corner. Like, free. Like this chair. This chair is awesome. $5 from a thrift store. Nothing wrong with it. Not a thing. Someone just didn't want it. So like, and that's kind of how we live. Like, that's our lifestyle. Like, we feel like you should repurpose, you should reuse instead of like throw stuff away, like buy brand new. Probably maybe another subject or topic, but it was just very apparent to us. Like, I really, in a situation like that, it always reminded me of what your dad used to say to you.
My dad, growing up, would always say, if you want a certain piece of somebody's life, you have to take their whole life. So if you like that person's house, well, you can't just take the house. You have to take their whole life, right? Their job, their relationship, their, whatever.
Their problems, their issues.
Their issues. You have to take the whole pie. You can't just have a slice of the pie, a slice of their life. You have to take the whole thing. So, we would talk about, I don't know, certain clothes or certain things that as a kid that I would want, certain toys that I want from one of my friends. Like, oh man, I really wish I was them, so I had this. And then my dad would just explain, well, you'd have to have their parents, you'd have to live in their house, you'd have to have their siblings, right? So that's kind of what brought us back to that, like, you can't really assess a happiness level from those items.
I just noticed we only have 3 hearts, guys.
Oh!
We're very sad. We're going to have to move into that big house and be unhappy. Okay, if you guys are enjoying the show, can you hit that hearts button? Lots. But that's something that resonates with me, because you have to take the whole picture. And we don't know we don't know that person's situation or circumstance. No. And just because they have like a big fancy house doesn't mean they're not happy. Like, they could be the happiest person in the world. We don't know. But we also don't know what problems they're going through, what issues they have, or what brought them to that stage in life. Like, who knows? We don't know. So, but the thing is, like, you don't know either way. So you can't be like, I wish I had all that, because all that could bring up a whole lot of discomfort and pain. You know what? For us, and I thought to myself, like, our life is very simple. We live a very simple life. And like, I didn't have an appointment. Like, we're able to pay our bills. Like, we're fortunate to not have a bunch of debt, and we're fortunate to live a simple life and have a shelter and food. Like, we live very simply, and we're not like we're in Sri Lanka and people are starving, people are struggling. Like, we're not. So I feel like life couldn't get better than this. And if you look at the more you grow, the more responsibilities you have. So if you look at someone on YouTube, let's say they've got 1 million followers, well, anytime they put up a video, they have a responsibility to put up great content, and they're going to have like at least a quarter of those people are going to say super mean and rude and angry things. So like as we grow our business and as we reach a bigger audience, we're going to be in a more challenging situation because we're going to have to please more people, and then there could be more negative things coming into our lives, and that's something that we want to grow, and we'll welcome those challenges when they come. But for now, life is simple. We're able to do the little things that make us happy. Like I got a longboard, for example. Like we were jumping around the kitchen. Like would someone that lives in a multi-million-dollar house, would they be jumping around with a, I don't know, $50, $100 skateboard? Probably not. Like something that would excite them is like a brand new Tesla. So, and then what comes, more bills come with that, and then more responsibility. Like we have Katie down here, Katie Cadillac, and I'm like worried to park her. You know, like I'm always like concerned, like, is she okay? I have to move her out of the sun. Is she okay? Like parked there? Is someone gonna bang her in the door? Bang like
their door into her.
So it's like there's more responsibility, and there's more. I just think there's more things that are less pleasant when you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, and we actually talk about like, what would it be like to not have a car? We don't need a car. Like, what do you right yeah. in here? We know in certain areas you need a car, right? Because you live far, you need a car to get to work or to the grocery store. But where we live, where we're at here, we don't need a car, right? So we talk about how less things, or we got into the conversation last night about less things are actually for us making us happier.
It brings you more happiness. Joy. And we kind of got that from Sri Lanka because they had absolutely nothing, and they're super happy people. So when we got back from Sri Lanka, we sold almost everything they had in Canada. Mm-hmm. We cleared out the house.
We cleared out our house because our Sri Lanka trip, like that's a whole show, but that had that month or that 5 weeks had so much impact on how we live our life now. When you see people that are genuinely happy, like have internal joy, but they don't have anything.
Now in North America, everyone has a vehicle, everyone has a cell phone, everyone has a computer. We've got houses, clothes we don't wear, and then you compare the two, and there's one's happy and one's not.
Yeah. So when you see that joy, that internal joy, it shifted our whole life, that we don't need stuff, right? Because your happiness and your joy comes from within. I actually, like Drew was saying, we have closets full of clothes like that we don't wear. We were going to our friend's birthday party last weekend, and it was a Dodger themed birthday party. And I went to the thrift store to see if I could find a Dodger shirt. And I saw this brand new, I bought this brand new Dodger shirt on the rack for the tag on it for $38, and I got it at the thrift store for $6. Brand new, never worn. And I said to Drew, I'm like, so this means somebody bought this shirt and didn't wear it at all, like not once. The tag is still on it. Bought the shirt and then just gave it away. Like, just like, I don't wear this, never wore it, off it goes. And I'm just like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, if you didn't need the shirt, why did you buy it, right? And that's what was going on in my head. But I was super thrilled to have it for $6. Brand new shirt.
Let's read some comments here. Sue's here. Suzanne. Morning,
Suzanne.
And then Sue says, love all the plants I got. Send some pictures of our plants.
Yes.
Of your plants, Sue. And Darcy says, aloha.
So does that mean you've landed? It must.
He's in Kona, I think.
Kona?
And then John says a couple things here. Our friend says, all the glitter is not gold.
Oh, I like that.
John says, great perspective. And he says, many of us have lost sight of the easy pleasures in life. Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And that was kind of... You get drawn back so easy, you know? Like,
yes.
So easy. Like, we're here, and, like, I feel like we're living our dream every day. Like, we've made a lot of sacrifices, and we made a lot of changes in our life to be here consistently on a regular basis. And I like riding a bike and surfing and now skateboarding or like working out outside regularly. That's something that we've always wanted to do, not for a couple weeks or even for a month or two. We want to do it all the time. So, And then, so we're here and we have our place that we love. And then you go to something that's like up here, let's say at least price wise or glamour wise, and you get drawn to it so quickly. It's like, I felt like I just got like sucked
into it.
And I was like, then we had to kind of snap ourselves out of it. And we're like, we are happy here. We have everything we need.
And we love our little beach house.
Yeah, like none of those material things could make us any more happy.
Right. What did Darcy say? I was lucky enough to find something like that once. It was a brand new Seattle Seahawks jersey. I just love that, like the thrift store finds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go there every couple weeks or twice a month or something.
And not always like for clothes, but like Drew said, we got a lot of our furniture items because when we moved into our place here, there was nothing. We were sleeping on an air mattress for a few months.
Way too long.
We were using our camping chairs as like kitchen chairs, or we had no couch, nothing like that. We had our yoga mats. Anyway, so we slowly started picking up things at the thrift store and around from as we got to know our neighbors around from them. But we picked up, for example, a printer stand. It was actually, I think, a night table at one time, or a nightstand, and it was $3, and I slapped some paint on it. Right?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And it looks
Show
great.
it to you, but
we can't move the camera. But like the end table, or the side table we used beside our recliner, was left here from a previous tenant. Slapped some paint on that. What are you doing?
We gotta go on Instagram.
Oh, we gotta go?
Sorry. Instagrammers, we have about 20 seconds here till they cut us off. So you can jump over on Facebook, facebook.com/trueformlife. John and Fran, I know you guys are in here. If there's anyone else, we only have an hour on Instagram Live, so you have to jump over on Facebook if you like. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys!
Okay.
Darcy said... Yep, he's in Kona. Helicopter tour, then I'm biking around the island and doing hiking. Busy 4 days. That's awesome.
Awesome, Darcy. Send us some pictures.
Yeah, I'd love to see some pictures. I've never been to Hawaii.
Suzanne has a question.
Are you going to come back to Canada, or are you going to stay there from now on? That's a very good question.
We're coming back, Suzanne.
We'll still be back in Perth. Yeah,
we have family and friends, and we still running a business in Canada. So, I suppose I was explaining that before we would come for like 6 weeks, or we'd come for like 2 months, or I think that was the longest.
I think the longest we stayed was about 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So at any rate, we're working towards spending more time here, so it's not a couple weeks here and there. It's funny because I think a lot of times people get like, they're like, oh, they get to travel all the time, or like these people with like high-paying jobs. Like we know quite a few in the area now. We're getting to know more people, and a lot of people, especially in this area, because it's only 15 minutes from LAX airport, and they travel all the time, like 3-4 times a month. They're traveling to the airport, and I got to a point like we were traveling like every 6 weeks, and I was like, before we came here this summer, like for the summer, I was like, I need to be in a place
more than 6 weeks.
Like I would wake up in the morning and not know where I was. Like I didn't know what bed I was in. I didn't know what house I was in. And I was like, and I'm not talking about sleeping on couches in college after late night drinking. I'm talking about like trying to run our business and being in so many different places. So I don't feel like that's all that like lavish to like have to go and travel for your job all the time or all over the place. So at any rate, Suzanne, we're going to be here for a longer duration, and then we are going back to Canada, and we got lots of things going on there too. So, and we miss our friends and family.
Yeah.
And then we have Dorothy's family on the East Coast as well, so we'll be spending some time there this year as well.
Yay!
What are you doing?
You
run out of things to say.
Maybe I talked too much in the beginning, and now I don't have nothing else to say.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap things up here.
Yes, we do have some things to get to, as I'm sure you do too. Like we said in the beginning of the show, we're going to Jimmy Kimmel this afternoon.
Jimmy Kimmel Live!
Woo!
We are pumped.
I don't think you can take pictures in there, so I don't think we can share with you. But I think we can share pictures of take pictures outside and share those with you. But I don't think that we can take pictures inside. I have to read the rules. But I woke up this morning and had an email that says, reprint your tickets because you have been moved, your ticket has changed to priority. So we were in the
VIP.
We were in the general section, but now we are in the priority seating, which means we get to go in first among other people. Get to go in first and pick our seats. So hopefully we get a good spot, nice and close.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. John says have a great time. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
We're looking forward to it.
Darcy said... Oh, sorry.
Suzanne said we're on the East Coast. Where are you, Suzanne? Suzanne, did you get your Trimag?
Ooh, good question.
I feel like it should be there by now.
Yeah. Dorothy's speechless? No way!
That's what I'm saying, Darcy. It happens. There's like moments where she's not talking in a day, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Is this thing on?"
Sometimes Drew gets, I don't know how to say, exhausted from my talking, and he was just like, "I just need a second with no talking, no talking, Dorothy."
And then Dorothy gets like offended for like a minute, and she's like, and I'm like. And I'm
talk all the time.
I'm like, I just need a moment. Or I'm like working on something and she'll like come in the room and just be like explode with like verbal explosion. And I'm like, I'm doing something. And then she gets mad. And I'm like, you talk all the time. Just give me a moment.
Well, the longer that we're together all the time. We run our business together. But there's parts of our day. For example, I go to the library usually 2 or 3 hours a day for some like focused working time, and I'm like, so I'm gone. Drew's at the house and I'm at the library for 2 or 3 hours, and I come home and I'm like, it's been a whole 3 hours. I have to get you up on what happened.
Yeah, like every word, like every detail. She's like, and this happened, and that person said this, and that person did that, and I'm like, I don't care.
In the library?
How do you say you don't care, like, pleasantly or, like, nicely? I'm, like, doing something, and she gives me, like, all these little details, and I'm like, I'm working. What do you think I'm doing here?
I'm like, the library is a very interesting place, and so I have little names for some of the people, regulars that go there, but I, like, have to tell them what, like, Costs a Lot Lady is doing, and what Talks to Himself Man is doing, and, like...
What do you think they call you?
Stares a lot, lady.
Dorothy will Dorothy has like a staring issue. Comes from her father. But they both if they see something that they're interested in, they'll go like this.
Sometimes Drew catches me watching TV like that.
And I'm like, can you close your mouth?
How about you close your mouth?
Okay. John says, you're not alone, brother. My wife is a talker. We should get them together and maybe they could get some talking
But
out.
we would be talking, and what would you two be doing? Not talking?
Hanging out.
See, because Drew is not a big talker, if you can imagine. Because he does a radio show and we do our lives, but Drew's not a big talker. So I'm like, well, I have to fill in the gap for you're not talking. I have to talk double.
She thinks there's she always has to be talking or noise, and I'm like, there doesn't always just be silent. Enjoy the peace.
He's like, we can go for a bike ride and not talk. Or we can sit and have dinner and not talk. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Why would anyone... You know what would remind me one time? Is when we were in college and I had some really close friends and we did everything together. So it was 3 of us that always hung out. And we're just in the dorms in college. And I remember this girl came over to hang out with us one time. And she was a talker. And we were kind of sitting there, and everyone was kind of doing their own thing, but we're all hanging out together in one room, and the guys weren't talking. And she was talking and talking. No one was really paying attention to her. And then she kind of stopped talking, and then she I could feel her just being agitated, and she was sitting there, and then she just exploded. She was like, "Why is no one talking?" She's like, "Why do you guys even hang out together if you're not going to talk to each other?" She's like, "It's too quiet in here," and she stormed out. And we all all kind of looked at each other. We're and then we started doing our own thing again. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny though, but I think it's different for women. I think that guys.
Not all guys though. There's some guys who are talkers.
Yeah, no. I'm saying I think guys could hang out together and like not talk. And I appreciate other people's company, and I also appreciate when they don't talk all the time.
Drew appreciates quiet.
So, you know, like you meet some people and they're like always talking, and I'm like, why are you always talking? You don't always have to talk.
John says, that's the best story.
I think about it all the time, John. And Dorothy's like, you guys don't talk enough. But I don't know. I think that there's like strength in quietness. I think you could be like a type of person like that has a presence of like I'm not talking about myself. Like I think when someone walks into the room that has a presence, it doesn't have to talk and like to be heard. And I think that I got this. I think I got this from like Denzel Washington, and he said that the loudest. This isn't putting anyone down that likes to talk. I'm just saying. He said the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest person in the room. And I don't mean
ouch.
That. I don't mean that because Dorothy has like a loud laugh and she's like, what's it, boisterous?
Probably that's a good word.
But it's different. Like Dorothy's like naturally like loud and like flamboyant, but people are attracted to that. Like I call her the sunshine because she like literally brightens up a room. But I think there's other people that like enter a room and like try to be loud and obnoxious to attract attention to them.
Yeah.
And you're just being yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's different.
Sorry.
Sue says, I love peace and quiet. I get irritated when it's interrupted. Me too. So,
like
if you ever want to hang out in a room and not say a word,
he's your guy. I think Drew looks forward to when it's my library time. I go to the library every day at 10 to about 1-ish, usually, 12, 1-ish. And I think Drew's like, oh my god, when is it going to be 10 o'clock?
Some days. But Dorothy, Dorothy's becoming more independent. She's a teacher for like 10 years, so she's used to talking in a classroom and being heard. So working quietly is like a new thing for you. So I think even when Dorothy's working, she's like talking or reading or doing something out loud, and I'm like, what are you doing? Work by yourself over there.
What?
Suzanne says, I'm with you, Sue.
Oh, you guys could all, Suzanne and Sue and Drew, you could just all be in the same room and not talk. And enjoy your quietness.
I'm in. Bring it. Who's with me? Who wants to hang out in the same room and say nothing? I think that John says they call Pamela my sunshine.
Aw.
Does she?
Samesies.
I think that you can hang out. I think you can hang out together and like enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And not talk.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's my opinion.
And cuddle. I like hugs. I like to cuddle.
Well, there's a couple dogs that we're watching, and Dorothy was like all cuddled up with them. They're like the dogs were cuddlers, so Dorothy would like go and
spoon them.
Spoon them. Oh, John says she's also a teacher.
Oh my gosh.
We live in the same life, John.
John,
am I talking to myself?
The same.
Sue says,
do you drink? Oh no, that was Darcy. Sue says, cool. Drew, I have to leave the house and go to the wood shop. Then my guys think I'm angry.
My guy thinks I'm angry. Because you need some alone time? Does he talk a lot, Sue?
Is he a talker?
I don't think there's anything wrong with talking. I just think it's nice to have some quiet time sometimes. Yeah. I would like to sit and read my book and sip tea. I enjoy that. The little pleasures of life.
Yes.
What do you love? A good conversation.
I sit and read for about 5 minutes. So, Dorothy, do you drink coffee with the Trimag? You would be talking like an auctioneer.
She talks like an auctioneer without that.
Yeah. It's... I don't want to say that we don't drink coffee, but there's on occasion where Not very often, but sometimes I will have a coffee, and it's not good, is it?
Oh no. Coffee's bad for Dorothy.
Yeah.
Very bad. What is this?
What are you doing?
I'm clearing space. I just got a notification that your disk is empty, so we might run into like bit technology issue.
Technology issues.
I'm gonna wrap things up right now.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. John said, totally. It's like looking in the mirror. You guys are awesome.
You must look like you like looking in the mirror, John. We are awesome together.
Allie says, the women in our family do TikTok a lot. Yes, we do.
Allie, are you a talker too? You know, it's a bit of a challenge. I'll just share briefly. When I go to the East Coast and like everyone's like talking and yelling and like that's normal.
Yep.
Like there's no quiet spaces or quiet time. It's like a party from 6 a.m. till 3 in the morning.
Because we're a ball of fun.
Every day. The dogs are barking, the TV's on, they're laughing over here, they're yelling over here, and I'm like in the corner like,
save me! I never thought about it, but Drew's family's very quiet, and I don't know how to say it, but like you guys aren't
flamboyant.
I wanted to say like aren't partiers. Like you're quiet and what is the word? None for none. Like anyway,
we're different.
my family likes
See, Darcy,
likes a good party. I suppose you'd say, like we're East Coasters, right? So it's all like in my house. Always growing up, there was tons of people around, and people stop in just to say hi. You come to drop something off at the door. Well, you're not just going to drop something off at the door. You're going to come in for tea and food, like you know. And my parents have been in the community and where I grew up for a long time, and they own their own business, so they know a lot of people. So, for example, going to town for groceries, because we don't live right in town, but going for town for groceries is like a 2-hour ordeal because you know everybody, you have to talk to everybody. So I didn't like that's just how we grew up. It's loud and lots of people around all the time. And Drew I never even thought of that when Drew came to visit my family for the first time in New Brunswick, and he was like, "This is a break." I'm like, "A break from what? What do you mean a break?
This is great. Everyone else is talking too."
Oh, but there's no like much relaxing time. You just like talk and visit and
all the time.
Go all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Dorothy, you'd be right at home in Southern Italy. You know, that was a challenge for me because my family, my dad's side of the family on the East Coast is Italian as well, and they're like similar to Dorothy's family. They're like like when they talk, they like yell at each other, and it's not like a pleasant like loud talking. They're like yelling at each other, and I was like, "What's wrong? Like, why is everyone so angry?" But they're just like that's how they communicate.
They're not angry though.
Well, sometimes, but
sometimes.
Like they normal conversation, like maybe Fran. Maybe your house is like this, Fran. I'm not sure, but that's how they are. Like at the dinner table, everyone's like yelling, and there's like food being thrown, and like
that's an exaggeration.
Well, like people are like food's coming out of their mouth, and there's like food, like food's flying up in the air, and there's like people running around chasing each other. No, just kidding. It was just loud, and I would go and visit when I was younger, and I'm like, man, this place is crazy. But now it's like that at Dorothy's place, so I can't get away from it.
It's funny because our dads are very, very similar. Like, you know, like always moving, always talking, always, you know, very similar.
Fran says I'm the least talkative of my friends. I suppose I'm a good listener.
Aw.
I'm a good listener too, Fran. Maybe some other people can learn from that.
Drew is not a good listener.
I'm a very good listener. What are you talking about? If I'm not talking, I'm listening.
It has to be like, okay, Drew, this is really important, so I need you to look at me when I say this.
If she's always talking, then I have to tune her out. It's survival mode. So if I'm working on something and Dorothy's talking, I don't hear her.
And Drew's like, you didn't tell me that. I said, I did tell you that. You were sitting at your computer. I was over there, and I told you this was what was happening. He's like, well, I didn't
shut
hear
off.
you.
The off button is on.
So now it's like, Drew, I have to tell you something that you need to remember. So can you tell me when is a good time that you can listen?
Yeah, that's how it works. Because she'll be like talking, and then like sooner or later I'm like, I need you to stop talking. I'm in the middle of something. She's like, okay, can you tell me when a good time is? Sue says my cousins are from Ontario. When we all get together, there is
no extra oxygen around. We never shut up and tried to talk over each other.
You know, it's funny. Dave and his sister, they'll talk, they'll like tell stories, but they are not talking to each other. Like they'll both be telling a different story at the same time. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's like they're talking to each other, but they're not. And they're both like telling a story to each other, but neither of us listening because they're telling their own story. It's so funny. We're gonna see Dave today. I'll see if he'll do it for you.
Okay.
John says,
my grandpa couldn't keep food in his mouth like your dad. Drew's dad's like that.
It's like an Italian thing, maybe.
Drew actually said the last time we visited, what did you say to your dad? Can you like finish your food before?
Hey, stop, finish your food before you...
Stop spitting on me.
He's fun. What do we got?
Fun times. Well, we have manners, but we are indeed passionate.
Maybe we'll get a chance to check out that Harris household friend this Christmas.
Male thing, Dorothy. I have to get eye contact from the males in my life. So true.
I feel like that's not like an accurate representation.
Why? You say what you see.
No, because if Dorothy's like doing something, like this happened yesterday, she's been like more active on social media, she's been putting more effort into her business and her oils, and I'm talking to her as well, and she's like flipping through her newsfeed or answering a comment, and I'm like wanting to tell her something, and she like half answers me, she's like, oh yeah, I think so, or she's like, oh yeah, okay, and I'm like, that's not even an answer. So I think if anyone, male or female, is working on something, and someone else is like trying to talk to them while they're in the middle of something, it's not going to work out. No comment. Speechless! I got her speechless!
I dislike when Drew says that, oh, you're just flipping through your news feed. Like our business, a lot of our business that we do is on social media.
That's true. So
it's like, I'm not just like flipping through here. I got business to take care of.
You do scroll though.
Sometimes, but
yeah.
Drew thinks all of the time that I'm on my phone, that I'm just la-di-da, scrolling through my newsfeed. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing on there? I'm like, listen to you what I'm doing. I'm working!
Oh my gosh. What's it to you?
What's it to you? I'm working.
Don't give me attitude on camera.
Well,
right, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun, you guys.
My cheeks are like sore from laughing. I think we laughed through this whole show. That was fun, guys. Thanks for joining us. We have Complete Truth Protein here in this box.
That is actually
this box is being shipped out.
It's being shipped back to Canada,
So if you guys are interested in Complete Truth Protein, this is to help you improve your digestion and help you increase energy naturally. So you can put in smoothies, you can bake it as a gluten-free flour. So if you are interested, let us know and we can hook you up. This is our main product, is Complete Truth Protein. When people purchase these, this gives us the ability to sit here and talk here for hours, which seems like we're doing nothing. But we're actually working. So thank you for your support, those that are purchasing Complete Truth Protein, those that have tried it, those that use it regularly. Your support means so much to us. See, Dorothy, when I stop talking, it's your turn to talk. We also have Trimeg. Many of you know our magnesium liquid magnesium supplement.
There's quite a few of you in here this morning that are taking magnesium. So thank you so much for your support and your help with getting that launched and going. we are just still so excited or so happy with all of the results that people have been seeing from the magnesium. When you first create a product, it's kind of, what do you call it? Like, you're kind of like,
well, you never know if people are going to buy it or people are going to appreciate it or even see benefits from it.
Right. So we've been just so happy with all of the comments and everything you guys have been sharing with us about how it's helping you improve your sleep or your digestion or increasing your energy. So we've been so happy with how that is going. So keep sharing with us, because it really does make our day when you guys write in and let us know how it's going.
You know what's interesting is that anytime one person shares a post like about one of our products or services, we all, like 90% of the time we get either a question about it, a new fan or follower, or a sale. Like 90% of the time, which is why it's so important, and we always like try to thank people for shares or for sharing what we're doing. So we see there's a handful of people watching right now. So if every one of you, oh my gosh, that's loud.
It's the street sweeper. I hope you're parked on the right side of the road.
Me too. So if every one of you told one person about Complete Truth Protein or TriMag, for example, then and every one of them told one person, then we'd never have to do marketing. We just sit here and talk.
Yeah.
But
and hang out.
We just sit here and hang out all day.
And purchase your cars.
And buy cars for you. So at any rate, that support really does mean everything to us. If you like when you purchase our products or when you tell people about our products, it helps us more than you could ever know. So thank you for doing that and being a part of our community here.
Sue says she's going to try the mojito flavor. Sue, they just got a new shipment at the Olds Massage Clinic, so the Olds Uptown Massage and Wellness Clinic. They just got they just got restocked, a new order. So they do have mojito there now. So that's a great place to pick it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do a bit of work here. Then we're going to go to Jimmy Kimmel. Then we're going to go to our friends...
Quinceañera.
Oh my gosh.
I try.
And then we have a great weekend. We'll keep you guys updated as we roll through life.
As we roll through life.
These are the days of our lives.
What was that? A soap opera?
Yeah, Days of Our Lives, soap opera.
Thanks for the fun true form.
You're welcome, John.
You're welcome, John. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are logging off. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we will catch you on the next video.
I'm going longboarding. See you guys.
Save me, help. Bye, everyone. Hope everyone has a fabulous day. You too, Suzanne. Bye, guys.
See ya.